Good morning. My name is Max Solo, owner of Max Built LLC here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And today I invited a very special guest. He'll tell us about himself. I just wanted to get his story out there. I thought it was really cool. So this gentleman, he was in law enforcement for 20 years and then chose the construction industry. And I thought it was such an interesting story, so I wanted to invite him and chat to him. So Brian, welcome.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Guess I just wanted to pick your brain about your career choices and your life. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, Brian Luthart, grew up in Buffalo, New York. Big Buffalo Bills fan, of course. Moved here in '95 and then went into the police academy in 2000 to become a police officer.
Okay.
Served for 22 total years, all patrol-based stuff, and then was on the SWAT team for 20 years.
Okay. Wow. That's one of the main reasons I brought you in. I just thought that was such a cool story, transitioning from law enforcement, SWAT, policing to construction. And I guess just wanted to get your story from the beginning into construction, because that's my industry, and a lot of respect for what you did and what you're doing now.
Thank you.
So a couple questions. What led you into law enforcement?
I had a cousin down here when I first moved down. He was in the academy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once he became an officer, I was always asking him questions, and I just thought it was the coolest thing that he was doing that. And at the time, I owned a landscaping company, kind of got fed up with that and the headaches of owning a business, even though I currently own one. But I just thought that was a very honorable thing to do, and I contacted him about how I pursue that career, and a few months later, I went into the police academy.
Okay. So that's kind of how I was with construction. I just thought it was really cool and got into it. What does it take mentally, physically, and emotionally to thrive in law enforcement / policing, SWAT?
Well, you have to take a lot of training for sure, but that doesn't really prepare you for what you're going to deal with. So, but constant training, obviously being physically fit, having good leadership and supervision helps a lot. But really, you can't prepare for half the stuff you're going to see. You just can't. Every time you work a shift, there's probably something you've never seen before. So, mentally, you just try to make it home every shift. Mm-hmm. That's literally a self-promise I would make to myself every morning or every night. If I was going to work, I'd look in the mirror and say, "See you when you get home." And so, that's it.
Wow, that's good. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Like you talk to yourself, like, "See you when I get home."
Self-promise.
Wow.
Yep.
The first time I hear that. Can you describe a day in the life of law enforcement or SWAT? Like, what's a typical day?
Well, hopefully a typical day would be quiet.
Yeah.
That's what we always hope for. But
a lot of working out and training.
Things. Well, we usually did that off duty.
Okay.
Yeah, we weren't really allowed to do that when we were paid, unless it was like SWAT training or something like that. But typically you go in, you might have a quick meeting in the morning, and you're kind of being proactive, patrolling around, doing crime prevention stuff. And then you might get some sort of call come out. Might be a routine call, might be some sort of crazy call, maybe a critical incident. It's just, you never really know.
Yeah.
You try to squeeze in breakfast and lunch somewhere in there if you can, or dinner if you're on night shift. But a lot of report writing, a lot of interactions with people typically, which were sometimes really good and a lot of times were really bad. But one thing that would, going back to your previous question, as far as preparing, you need to know how to deal with people, talking to them in a nice way, sometimes in a commanding way, like just interaction with people was a huge part of the job.
Yeah. I'm sure you get better over the years.
Yes, right. Definitely.
You guys become almost like psychologists.
Mm-hmm. It helps to have good like senior officers and supervisors when you're a rookie.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, I don't know what to do.
Teach you the ropes. Yeah.
So I was lucky in that aspect quite a bit.
How did you and your team train for high-risk situations, and how did you guys stay sharp over the years?
So we would train 1 to 2 days every month at least. A lot of firearms training, a lot of tactical training, a lot of physical training, mental toughness training, stuff like that. We try to make things as realistic as we could. We were always seeking out training outside of our department, like with the North Carolina Justice Academy and different places that would offer high level training. So say one operator would go to a class and he'd take a lot of notes, and if there were a few things during that class that we could so-called put on our tool belt,
Integrate.
Just saw how relative that is nowadays, but some technique that might work for our team that we can integrate into it. It was just basically a constant evolution of learning.
Yeah.
And if you ever stopped doing that, you were kind of hurting the team. So
yeah. So I hear continuing education is very important.
All the time.
And I want to say you guys had your own tool belts.
Yes.
You know, in construction we have ours. In law enforcement you have your own.
Yep.
Did you ever face a situation where you didn't think you'd make it out alive?
Yes, a couple of them.
Okay. Can you talk about them, or?
I'll give you a kind of quick briefing of one.
Okay.
It was June 9th, 06.
Okay.
And it was a SWAT. Well, it was actually originally a patrol call, where a man had beaten his wife really badly, and then he ran off and barricaded himself in a certain location. And we were on that scene for a long time, like I think a total of 23 and a half hours before it was done. And he was firing many shots off at officers. Our SWAT team was gathering, because again, it started off as a regular patrol call. Once he started shooting, it escalated that. So we got the whole team in there, and we dealt with this for a long time. And at one point we were sent in, got shot at several times, barely missed me personally.
Wow.
A couple times. And then, like I said, the situation ended about 23 and a half hours later.
Wow.
So we're talking dehydration like crazy. We had to go and get IVs from the medics, and we'd get pulled out, and they'd stick us with IVs to rehydrate us, and then we'd end up going back out.
That's intense.
Yeah.
23 hours.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
What kind of toll did law enforcement take on you physically, mentally, relationally? Obviously, you're in a high stress job, so it's going to take some kind of toll. So if you don't mind sharing, what tolls did it take on you?
Well, physically, if you would have had the camera on the, watching me walk up to this interview, you would have seen me hobbling around a little bit. So, wearing a lot of gear, being on a team like that, or being stuffed in a police car for hours and hours at a time with all that, it works on you for sure. It can damage you. So you need to take care of your body. You need to stretch. You need to work out, and maybe go to chiropractors or whatever, massage, stuff like that. So physically it beats you up. A lot of cops get injured on the job. You're fighting people, you're chasing people, very physical job at times. Emotionally, you see a lot of stuff that people aren't supposed to see. Regular people aren't supposed to see it. So you try to compartmentalize that while you're trying to say help a family, tell them that their kid just was killed in an auto accident or something like that, and you're trying to keep your stuff together to give them the best support you can, all while trying to keep a lump from coming up in your throat, like trying to be professional. That was always hard. Or say losing officers, friends, that was always tough, but you always stay together as a family. Relationship wise, I know a lot of cops get divorced, and I'm divorced as well, but it takes a strong woman or partner to be with a cop. It does. So I see a lot of that as well. I can't say I've personally experienced a lot of that, but I've seen it. So it definitely takes its toll on you in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
And then once I was out of it for about a year, because you're talking about, like, you go to work and you're up here, and then you maybe get down to here, and then you're back to work again and you're up here. And then you might take a week-long vacation and get down to almost normal limits, and then you're back up again. So about a year after I was out of law enforcement, I remember one night I got tired at like 10 o'clock. I'm like, I'm gonna go lay down. I went to bed. I woke up 8 hours later. Like, that's the first that had happened in a long time.
Yeah.
So it definitely takes you a while to acclimate to being a civilian again.
Yeah.
I sleep great now.
Good,
So it's
good.
like the longer I'm out of it, the farther away it seems. So,
Well, they do say time heals all wounds
yep,
if you let it.
most of them.
Yeah, most of them. But now I wanted to transition from law enforcement to construction. Why and how did you choose construction after your law enforcement career?
Well, a lot of officers work 12-hour shifts, so you maybe only work 7 out of 14 days, so you have a lot of time off, and frankly, we don't make that much money, so I was chasing dollars and doing side jobs, construction, custom fences, pergolas, custom furniture, stuff like that. So once I got out of law enforcement, I was like, I probably could make some money doing this full time. So reached out to a couple builders and realtors that I had known and done projects for in the past, and explained to them that I thought about going into it full time. Asked them if they had any projects coming up I could look at, and that's how it started almost 2 years ago.
Okay. Was it difficult transitioning? Well, let's go back a little bit. Was it difficult transitioning, and maybe you might have answered that question slightly, transitioning from law enforcement to retirement to construction?
Not exactly, because again, I had been doing it on the side.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to find some direction after I got out.
Yeah.
I felt like I had lost part of my identity.
That's what I wanted to ask. Like, did you feel like you lost a sense of identity? And was going into construction part of rebuilding your purpose?
I think, yes. I think, it was kind of dual purpose. I wanted financial gain, of course, but it also is something I enjoy, even though it's hard work. But for me, every day you get to go out there, whether you're tearing something down and then starting to rebuild it, is always something tangible that I see. I see progress. I see something that we're making as a team. So gives me a satisfaction from teamwork, kind of like I had on the SWAT team. Gives me something that's tangible that I didn't necessarily experience in law enforcement. We're not usually building things. A lot of the arrests and the things that we did, we couldn't see immediate results from. So it's a good feeling to work hard every day and see what you've accomplished, even in an 8-hour day.
Okay, what values or principles from your previous career carried over into your new business?
Hard work, teamwork for sure, attention to detail, and personal relationships. Like again, as a young cop, I wanted to kick doors and arrest bad guys and all that. And then the longer I was in it, it was all about helping people and making connections.
Yeah.
Like letting some little kid sit in your car so his mom or dad can take a photo, stuff like that. I had time. I was trying to make time for that. So I enjoy meeting with customers, trying to understand what they're wanting accomplished, what their dreams are, what can we build for them, and then making that happen for them, and they're pleased is a wonderful feeling. So several things from my old career.
What about discipline?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was gonna say that's like probably
staying out there when it's 100 degrees. It's kind of like being in SWAT training.
Any unexpected skills, or did we pretty much covered them from your law enforcement career into, because me not having any other career, I can't relate to that. Like, did I carry any skills over? I basically started from the bottom up. But you, like, especially for you, like the discipline you guys had to have, I'm sure 100% carried over into your new business. Any unexpected special skills?
Maybe just a sense of confidence when I was talking to people, customers, like, there's nothing to be nervous about. These people aren't trying to hurt me, or I'm not having to give them bad news. We're just trying to do something together to build what they want. So I think I have a touch of confidence from what I used to do that carries over, that people might recognize.
Okay, good. Now let's get to your company, Salty Dog Construction, or Constructing? Contracting.
Yep.
Salty Dog Contracting. What kind of services do you provide, and what areas do you service? Basically, tell us about your company.
Okay. So, first thing, the name came from kind of my old SWAT guys. They thought of me as the old salty dog on the team because I was on it for a long time and I wasn't moving as fast as I used to and all that. So, we build decks, rebuild decks, porches, covered porches, pergolas, pavilions, all sorts of carpentry, all sorts of stuff. Interior trim carpentry, especially if it's raining or cold outside. We love those jobs. So,
don't we all?
And we also offer a lot of hardscaping. My crew's really good at paver patios, walkways, retaining walls, stuff like that. So we do a lot of different things. We also do siding, some roofing, gutter work. We do quite a bit of stuff, kind of all over the map. But I think decks are a specialty. It's kind of my favorite.
Okay.
Because it's a fairly quick job.
Yeah.
They look great. It's something that the customer's going to enjoy like almost immediately.
Quick results.
Yeah. Like nobody's going to really admire their new siding as much as standing on a deck having a cup of coffee.
Or pavers might take a while.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through your process? I know everybody's got their process a little differently. Like let's say I'm a customer and I need a new deck built. Walk me through a quick process. Like what happens? I call you, Brian, I need a deck.
Okay. I'd want to hear more about it. What kind of size are you looking at, or some details? I try to talk to people over the phone first. I do get contacts through Google and through my website and everything, and they'll fill out a form and I'll have some information, but I want to hear it from their voice. I also want to talk to them so they hear mine. It's more personable. So I just kind of want to get a layout of what you need, and then I definitely want to come out and look at the job itself, see if there's any kind of obstacles I need to overcome. If it's redoing a deck, are we just stripping it off and redecking it, or is the structure bad? And I want to explain all this to the customer and walk through it with them so that we're on the same page. I'm never going to try to oversell something that you don't need. So, but mainly just meeting with them and let's see exactly what you want so I can recreate that either the way you want it or even better.
Okay.
So then there would be like, I'd work out, once I know exactly what they want, I'll work out an estimate, send that to them. And then if they want to go ahead with the project, we order materials and schedule them in.
Okay. So what areas do you try to focus on here in Charlotte?
We'll drive easily an hour or more.
To me, I say Charlotte. To me, that's like central location.
Right.
Everybody thinks of Charlotte.
So
as
I'm
Charlotte.
located more up towards Lake Norman. So we love when the jobs are closer, but we understand.
Davidson, Huntersville.
Western side too, Denver.
Okay.
Mooresville.
Statesville.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've done some work at Statesville. We don't mind traveling. So really, within an hour's drive of Charlotte, probably at least, we'll consider that.
Okay. Do you have any crazy stories you want to share with us?
How long do you have for your podcast? Yes, I have a lot.
As much as you need.
I'll tell you one that's kind of cool because it happened when I wasn't on duty. I was at Carolina Beach with another sergeant, and we were there for some FBI leadership classes, which are pretty cool. They put us up right at the beach, and after the class, we'd go down to the beach and maybe fish or do whatever. That's what we were doing this one day, and I noticed somebody was having trouble out in the water. And I should preface that with another unit that I was on was a maritime tactical team, like SWAT on the water. So that was we did a lot of training, lifeguarding stuff like that. So I see this young man struggling out in the water. Try to make the story short, ended up running out there. Totally looked like David Hasselhoff running across the beach. It was with minus the good hair, and ended up going in. There was a lifeguard right in front of me, but he had just saved 2 other people from this rip current or whatever was going on. I followed him right out. He was struggling getting this kid because he was exhausted. I took the kid, swam him in. He wasn't breathing. My friend, the other sergeant, I won't mention his name, but he got there right after I did. We pulled him in, got him breathing again, and that was a good day.
Oh wow!
So you don't have to be on duty to help people.
Yeah, that is.
You don't have to be a cop to help people.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think your skills, they make you jump into action where most other people might be standing by, just watch what happens, scared to get in. But with your skills and training, you were able to save the boy. What What other questions? I guess, do you have any questions for me, or do you have anything else to add? I just basically, main thing I wanted to do was bring you in and get your human experience, and put a face to the name. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and we're here in Charlotte, doing business and quality business. So we'll link all your contact info in the video, and probably some pictures and videos as well. I don't know, do you feel like you're good, or you have anything else to add?
I would like to add one more thing, because again, it's all about connections and networking and people. I am also a professional musician. I play in a really good cover band around Charlotte, and we make quite a bit of money for charity and stuff.
What's
like
the
that.
band?
Sunset Revival.
Sunset Revival.
We play all over Charlotte. We play bars like Goldie's, and we're headlining the Taste of Charlotte this year. We have a lot of fun. We like connecting with people. We love, if somebody's having a bad day, our motto is like, let's at least give them a 3-minute song that helps them. We try to put positive energy out there for people and maybe to make their day a little better. So
what do you play?
I'm a drummer, and I sing as well.
Nice. Oh wow, you're multi-talented.
Yeah, I mostly do background vocals, but I do a little bit of lead.
And drums, that's fun.
Yep.
Well, Brian, thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Max. Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure. I think that does it.